Well, hello, everybody. It is Dennis and Andy with your movie review for the week. We hope you guys had a happy Thanksgiving. And if you're watching this someplace where you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, well, hope you had a good last week. We are back. Dennis was out for the holidays and he came back, didn't bring me anything, but he brought himself a cold, which I believe he's over now. At least I hope so, considering I sat next to him last night at a movie. And if I start getting sick, you know who I'm going to blame. That guy right there.
Yep.
We saw Getaway, as you can see above us last night. Uh, we want to see Getaway because of Nick Frost, the main actor in it. You'll remember him from, well, mostly I remember him from Shaun of the Dead, which was oh so 20 years ago. But he still looks the same, sounds the same. Dennis, what's Getaway about?
So, Getaway is about the Smith family. No relation to you, I hope. And
No.
they have a much needed vacation and they go off to a remote Swedish island of Svalta where things take a dark turn and they arrive during preparations for a mysterious local festival that celebrates a dark history. Unsettled by the unfriendly locals and strange rituals, they try to make the best of their trip. However, things take a turn, and as the festival looms closer, the family realizes something far more sinister is unfolding, especially when they discover that a serial killer is on the loose.
Oh. Now, guys, this is described as a on IMDb as a comedy, comma horror movie. Um, and yeah, horror movie. I think that term needs to now be. I think you need to split two categories. I think there needs to be slasher movie and horror movie because this is slasher, not horror. That's just my little nitpickiness. But anyhow, Nick Frost once again. Dude, he's great. He's the humor in this movie, because it does say comedy. The humor in this movie is it's subtle, it's
Yeah.
like slow burn humor. So, in a way, I almost showed it to Courtney, who will go to movies with us, my daughter, because she likes comedies and she's seen comedy horror before. But I'm kind of glad I didn't bring her because it's she's 21 and she likes the over the top humor, Deadpool Wolverine type humor that's
Yeah.
really in your face. So I don't think she would have found this movie funny. There were three of us in the theater, Dennis and I, well, maybe four, a
No,
couple other
four of us.
people. I mean, Dennis and I laughed. I, I,
Yeah.
I thought I thought the humor was great because it was that underplayed, subtle, sarcastic type humor.
And they have running gags and
Yeah.
stuff throughout it, and it starts off as this family, and they're in a car traveling to go to the ferry, and mom and dad, they're trying to make the best of it. You can see they've got some marriage counsel things that they're kind of working on, and the kids don't really want to be on the trip. It's your very typical intro to a movie like this, and even that was good setup for what came much later in the movie. But yeah, it was just cool the way that they wound up playing off the locals, and the locals all have their customs. If you've seen the trailer, they were warned not to go to the island and stuff. Oh, you don't want to go there, don't take the ferry, and they go over there and they're like, no, we booked this B&B, and he's showing them. And again, all the little things that they did, even showing the Airbnb stuff, it was funny, it was humorous. Nick Frost is fantastic. He really is. And I enjoyed all of the characters in this. So they
Yeah.
all brought their, I thought, A game for this type of a movie.
Yeah.
Aislinn Bay, who plays his wife, she was really good in the role.
And
The two kids were really good in
well,
the
and
role.
here's the thing about this movie. You won't recognize, besides Nick Frost, highly doubtful you'll recognize any of the cast. I mean, I didn't. The actress that plays his wife. None of the actors are American. So the actress that plays his wife, I looked at her bio. Not only is she an actress, she does stand-up comedy, which I do plan on YouTube and see if I can find. She was great. The actors that played the kids were great. Um, and I really think when you're watching this, the way the relationship between the family members, I wouldn't be surprised. It happened with me. It happened with Dennis. That you're going to go, oh my god, this is just like this family I know. Now, the funny thing is, to me, and this is obviously my viewpoint, of course, from watching this movie and then knowing Dennis, his wife, and his son and daughter like I do, I still say, and Dennis disagrees, but I got a strong Dennis Susie vibe out of the playfulness back and forth between the husband and wife. And even like the road trip, all I could picture is, oh my God, this seems like a family of four vacation when Dennis, Susie, and their two kids were, young 20s, or late teens, would go on a trip. I could picture his daughter attitude just like this daughter. I could picture I could, not a big spoiler, but the son says he's vegan, and the back and forth between Nick Frost and the son when it came to some of the vegan stuff, and even the mom when they were at a restaurant. I don't know why, man, but I told you I could just. I know your son isn't vegan, but I could just picture if he was, that would be the back and forth.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, the dynamics within the family are really good. And then Errol Milanov, he plays the creepy guy that they're
Oh
renting
yes,
the house from. The scene where she's showing him around in their house and stuff, that is a really funny scene. And then you start seeing the creepy stuff. Most of the actors that are on the island, a lot of them are Finnish, and so they're all very native like speaking and
yeah,
looking. And Nick Frost plays this very shy, timid dad who's overbossed by his wife at times. And like I said, their dynamics, they're on the ferry going over, and they're on board with all of the locals that are on their way over to the ferry, and they're all the locals are staring at them. And it's, again, the interactions between the local community and the family and the inner family, they're just good. It is good, wholesome, family, fun stuff. And then this movie takes a twist, which is why we're going to wrap this up early, because once the twist takes place, you start realizing, aha, and it goes into a wholly different direction that I think most of you will totally appreciate.
yeah, definitely. And once it does take the twist, like Dennis said, there's like this aha, and then you kind of reflect back on earlier stuff that was said and done in the movie and go, oh, okay.
Yep.
So, yeah, we'll give you our CGC grading on this one. That's from a point 0.5 up to a 10.0, just like CGC does grades comics. I don't remember, so I'm just going to give it to you to go first.
I am giving this an 8.0. I didn't have high expectations for it, although I love Nick Frost. But you never know. This is an IFC, so it's an independent film channel movie. And I'm glad we did. It was really, as Andy said, openly laughed multiple times throughout this. There was some funny, like, oh, and there's a few of
Oh
those
yeah.
scenes where you went, damn. So, it did evoke emotional response in a positive way. I think this was a fun movie. I just, because of how good it was, I would see it on the big screen. But it is something that if you waited till it came out, on a streaming platform, you would enjoy it at home as well.
Yeah, it is just we mentioned so we can mention it's an hour and 35 minutes. There's no after credit stuff. It's R-rated, not necessarily language, but I mean it is language, but it's for the graphic violence and stuff. I'm giving it a 7.5, so we're pretty close there. Yeah, I mean I enjoyed it. I think they missed the window though. I would have tried to get this out in November or October because Halloween. I mean, it's it's a slasher flick. Um, but that time of year usually lots of stuff comes out, so they're
And
thinking
it
it's
did.
probably let's avoid it and whatever. So yeah, so I'm giving it a 7.5. What are the critics giving it? Is there critic stuff out there yet?
IMDb rating is a 5.8, so I'm going to say that's lower than I expected.
A little bit.
And Rotten Tomatoes, we do have a tomato meter. It's 77. So no
Wow.
popcorn meter yet, because they've only got 50 ratings. I was going to say was not a heavily publicized movie. I
No.
think it's flying under most people's radar, and I think it's a shame. If you guys see this and you get a chance, I would go take a look at it. I think you will enjoy it.
The one thing I'll point out, and this has nothing to do with like anything other than my proclivities, I guess you could say, is they're on this island in Sweden. Everybody's dressed like it's, I don't know, I'd say it's like the fall. They never say what time of year it is, but if you look at what they're wearing, coats and stuff like that, you think it's the fall. And this family goes swimming, and I don't know if it's a lake, ocean, I don't know what the body of water would be called, but I'm like, everybody is dressed like it's literally 50 degrees outside
Uh-huh.
and they're going swimming. And I'm just like, well, that water's not that much warmer. What the? I was like, this is another reason I'm like, this is the Dennis and Susie family trip because they would go swimming in this. Whereas I'm like, no, what? What? As soon as somebody in the family mentioned swimming, I'm like, what is there a heated pool somewhere? Because if you think I'm getting in that lake, ocean, whatever water, you're insane.
Yeah, I would have swam.
No, I know you would have. And what everybody should do is go back Kor-Drath Volume 2, The Awakening, 64-page graphic novel. Kor-Drath and Adriana are back to fight the evils of Vordoom, the Necronite, and Lilneth as they battle to save the Shattered Reach and learn more about these ancient artifacts that they need to gain uh, and are trying to gain faster than Vordoom can. Guys, if you like Conan, Game of Thrones, Dungeons and Dragons, high fantasy adventure, you will like this book. And the great part is 3.5 pages to go on my end. I'm going to finish a page today, which will leave a straight up 3 pages to go. Getting it done before Christmas. We are at $55,501, 778 backers. If you're watching this video, 2 of you go back it today. Let's roll into the weekend at a strong 780 backers on our way to 800. Guys, we appreciate your support so much. And we just put the order in today for the custom collectible box that is part of the campaign. Click the link below so you can scroll through and see all the fun tiers that we have for you guys and all the goodies that are available. So definitely do that. And next Wednesday, Paul Thayer of Project Noasis. I know I pronounced it wrong. I'm sure I did, but it's a great book. He's a great creator. He's joining us next Wednesday, 3 p.m. Next week, we are finally seeing the movie that was delayed forever and ever and ever, it seems like, Craven the Hunter, with I believe his name's Aaron Taylor Johnson playing Craven. He was Quicksilver. He got bumped off in Avengers Age of Ultron, but he's back as Craven the Hunter.
Yep, already
So,
got tickets.
yep, got our tickets. So we will see you guys then. Have a great weekend. Be safe, be kind,
Live long and prosper.
and do that as well. Bye, everybody.